r/ask Reddit. Parents of Reddit, what did you find in your kid's room that you put back and never discussed with them? We had to move our kid out of a bad living situation. She wasn't in any condition to help. So wife and I go in and just start grabbing her stuff. We come across her adult baby fetish gear. Like 2 duffel bags of it, giant Onesies, Binkies, diapers etc. Wife looked at me, I looked at her, we shut each bag and have never spoken of it again. My father-in-law helped us move once. The only trunk he decided to have a look-see in was our ex trunk. For frick's sake. A whole trunk? I must be living too vanilla. My wife has a couple of vibrators, but those are for personal use. We've tried the X toy thing a couple of times, but it never stuck. I knew we were vanilla, but if X trunks are the norm, I suppose we're not even that. Maybe more like a water flavored slushy. A pair of SpongeBob boxer shorts with the cheeks cut out to make them into a thong. They were just trying to make bikini bottoms. If she goes to the beach with them, she'll have sandy cheeks. I am a 24-year-old who grew up watching that damn show. And I just now got her name. Thank you. That is straight up fashion. Not a parent, but my dad moved to a new apartment after I shipped to boot camp. When I got back home on boot leave, he was showing me around his new apartment and he just casually mentioned, your pocket pussy is in that drawer by the way. Hut up. A true battle buddy saves your stuff. It's okay. You made a new one with a Amari heater. Feels just like the real thing. Condoms. Never ever take the condoms. My mum bought all the condoms for my brothers, sisters, and I. No questions asked. When I was 10, my brother was 12. We were staying the weekend at our grandpa's house way out in the country. I found a cock ring in the bathroom and being 10 I obviously had no clue what it was, so I showed it to my brother. He told me what it was and we ran outside in the middle of the night and chucked it into the woods because we panicked. Thankfully grandpa never asked about his missing cock ring. I love kid logic. X stuff. Chuck it into the woods. How else would all the peen mags have ended up there? Not a parent, but found a note in my brother's room talking about killing my cat. Note, he never has. But did you have a cat? My son is a very talented artist. While cleaning his room, we found a drawing that he'd done as sort of a 3-part comic strip. First panel. There was a pretty girl wearing bib overalls, the kind with the straps over the shoulder. Second panel. One of the strap buttons popped loose and the strap was flying back over her shoulder as the overalls started to fold down. Third panel. The girl, breast exposed, had a perfect look of surprised embarrassment on her face. The reason we didn't say anything was because he was a pretty shy 11-year-old and we didn't want him to stop drawing by embarrassing him. I regret not taking a picture of it, though, because it was really impressive artwork for a kid. Buddy was drawing his own peen. The perfect crime, no evidence to be left behind. Except for that comic. But we don't mention that. When I was 11 years old I made a PowerPoint which was nothing but the lower parts of a woman and a peanuts going in and out over and over again. You get creative. An entire nightstand drawer full of used feminine hygiene products. I wanted to ask why, but I felt like any conceivable answer would just beckon more questions. Was this in your son's room or your daughter's? I have questions. Was looking for my vibrator that mysteriously disappeared from my drawer. Looked in the teenager's room. Not there. Went to my 5-year-old's room and there it was sitting on top of his dresser, in all its glory. I was too scared to ask anyone how my lightsaber got there, so just took it back and hid it in my room. To be honest, if you told him it was a lightsaber he just probably wanted to play with it, as if it were a toy. It is a toy. You got a friend in me. I think the correct term is I've got a friend in me in this case. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age. When I was 9ish my mum got me a light up handheld back massager. I was obsessed with it. It looked like something space age and did wonders on my neck and back. My older teenage sister stole it from my room one day and I noticed it on her nightstand. She wouldn't give it back and I told my mum she stole it. but mum just said just let her have it. 20 years later and I finally understand. One of my younger brothers stole a tiny lotion of mine from Bath and Body Works. I understood immediately why it was under his bed. He still denies it to this day. Well, did your mum get you a new one? Understandable then, but I would have been mad regardless of the use if someone stole one of my possessions. It's actually disregardless. What the frick, man? There could be children on here you're exposing to that kind of reckless freeform verbiage. When my late husband was 21 and we'd been dating for a year, he had an MRI for something concerning and then went back to work, leaving his worried about his MRI mum from up north who was just there for his medical stuff in his apartment alone with nothing to do. So, she cleaned a lot. When he came home his normally messy room was spotless. His bed was freshly made with the Bible he'd gotten at his church confirmation atop the pillow, and on top of that, a condom wrapper that must have made its way under the bed in our haste. In his closet, his once hidden Playboy Cheerleaders VHS tape was now quite prominently displayed on a shelf. She never said a word to him about anything. She shot dagger eyes at me next time she saw me though. Oh, no, adults doing the X. How vulgar. Seriously, how are humans so bizarre about this? Literally every single person you meet exists in front of you now because of someone having X. I'm the kid, but once my girlfriend accidentally left her undies under my bed. Every so often when I'm away for an amount of time my mum will clean up my room and do some washing. When I got back one time, I found her undies washed with mine and left for me to put away in my room. She's never mentioned it to me. I like that she washed them. I mean, it is the polite thing to do, lol. They're never a wrong, bad time to be polite. Your mom's a bro. Oh lord, you brought back a memory. It was 1989. My boyfriend and I were having X in his bedroom. We heard the garage door open and got dressed as quickly as we could to do the mad dash to the family room and pretend we were watching TV. Only, I couldn't find my panties. So I'm commando in my jeans and I told my boyfriend to look for them, and honestly we both kind of forgot about it. Until the fateful day that his mother had new mattresses and box springs delivered. She was in his room when the delivery guys took the old ones off the bed frame and lo and behold, pink panties under the bed. That did not go over well. He had a lecture and his dad took him aside after and gave him a box of condoms. I was already on the pill for cramps. Frick you endometriosis, but he just took the condoms. It was a long time before I was able to go over there without his mum giving me the look. I'm the child in this story. I was about 10 or 11 and feeling really guilty for being a horrible person. Silly kid stuff. I don't remember exactly what. Maybe it was as simple as not saying I love you enough. I felt I had to atone somehow, so I started writing I love you dad, love you mum, love you sister 1, love you sister 2, and did it over and over almost like the lines you'd get as punishment in school. I did a full page and then completely forgot about them. My room was very messy and my parents didn't enforce me to clean it. Silly of them. In my defense, I most likely have undiagnosed ADHD, but that's besides the point. What is the point is that it may have been months later or even years later, but I found that piece of paper again and I was cringing for having written it. But at the bottom in my dad's handwriting was one final line. We love you too. You made me tear up a little amid the sea of dildos and drugs. I feel my heart CRC. I was around 14 and ordered a book online about X back when they just sent you anything if you promised you were over 18 and would pay for it later. 1996 if I recall correctly. This was no regular book. It was nearly 500 pages. A lethal-bound holy grail of X. My father or mother found it one day under my bed and I thought I would be in so much trouble, but they never said anything. A few weeks later, I go looking for it and under their bed, I find my book, a printed out copy of the Anarchist Cookbook, and a VHS of Heavy Metal. I took it all and nothing has even been said about it to this day. One of them found the VHS, and I am pretty sure it was my mum, thinking it was mine, due to the looks of disappointment shortly thereafter I was getting. I was laying peel and stick tiles in our bathroom and found a couple of mild nudie mags hidden under the big package of TP. At about that time, youngest son came home and was a bit panicked, but never said anything at the time. I made sure to place the magazines back when I was done tiling. I showed them to my wife and joked that I should have substituted granny gangbangs or similar. I still regret not doing it. When I was a kid I stockpiled dozens of those mags under my basement couch over the course of a few years. I eventually forgot about them, until one day when my dad asked me to help him move the furniture in the basement. That was a bit awkward. Congrats, you've made it to the end. You're a beast. Like and subscribe for more r/ask Reddit content. It's free, so why not just do it?